Hey, fabulous souls. Step into the realm of Unwavering Thoughts, the podcast that's your ticket to a life filled with growth, thriving, and the sweet taste of success, all wrapped in the delightful package of how we treat ourselves and those around us. In this auditory adventure, I'm your captain on a journey through the landscapes of personal growth, cultivating a beautiful connection with yourself, discovering your divine reflection, navigating the intricate dance of relationships, and even throwing in some rookie wisdom for mental wellness along the way. My name is Amanda Mati, and you are welcome to my Unwavering Thoughts. Let's dive right in. Hi, loves. My name is Amanda Mati, and you are welcome to my Unwavering Thoughts podcast. And if this is the first time you listen to this beautiful voice, please do not make it your last. Make sure you follow, subscribe, like, share. Emphasis on share, guys. And if you're returning, thank you so much for lending me your hearts, your ears, and, giving me the opportunity to be on this platform, expressing myself the way I best know how to, which is talking. So, before we begin, I simply want to read out a meme that says what's exactly in my mind. And it's like a picture of Zendaya speaking to her therapist. So the therapist is asking, what is on your mind right now? And this is me responding in Zendaya's face, of course. And she says, my mind is like an internet browser. 17 tabs are open. 4 of them are frozen. And I don't know where the music is coming from. This is me right here. And there's so much going on in my mind. I don't even know what to say, how to organize them. So I try to focus on one, and then when I'm done thinking about what I was thinking, I then go to the next thing. It's crazy, I think a lot of people who have a lot going on for them have a lot going on in their mind. And even those people that might not have a lot going on for them, guys, I don't think I believe that people who are overthinkers they swim in the ocean of thinking about every tiny little thing. But thinking and overthinking is not the topic for today. The topic for today is giving up is not an option. Giving up is not an option. I specifically picked this topic because my week has been berserk. It has been haywire, crazy, filled with ups and downs. I think that people who are living in Lagos are trying, including me. I feel like we're in a glass ball or in a glass globe. I don't know how to explain like that, glass ball, whatever, however you want to imagine that, good for you. I feel like we're in a glass ball and we can't come out. And it's not like we want to come out. That's the funny thing. We complain and we're tired all the time. Oh my God, the traffic, this one and that one. But we're still inside this glass globe or this glass ball, basically. We are just still roughing it with the traffic, with, a lot of weird ass people, or with everything in between. But, every one of us is just roughing it with work, doing the 9 to 5. Some people have it figured out doing, working from home. Some people already don't even have to, they're not streamlined or should I say, they don't have to wake up every morning. They can determine how their day will go because they have multiple streams of income. I mean, those people are the ogas and madams of Lagos. And I can't help but feel jealous of you guys. But well done. Your brain was fast enough to pick out the good skills or pick out what you really love to do and did it, and you're making money out of it. It's not easy. I'm not going to say it's easy. Saying, oh, you found your passion, your purpose, and you know how to navigate and know how to make money out of it. It's easy to say, but I know that getting to that point is very difficult. And I have to say kudos to you guys. And still, kudos to those guys who are doing the 9 to 5. Probably miserable, probably not miserable, but una the rough and sha. And I appreciate you guys because I'm in that pool of 9 to 5ers with the rough farm. And God has been faithful, really. Traffic, everything in between. And with all that stress, sometimes we hear stories of how somebody just died with all the stress, with everything that is happening with life. You just hear one day that a colleague from work that you just spoke to like 2 days ago, and you're like wondering, oh, I've not seen this person in a while. And you just come to work after the weekend only to find out that this person is dead. And guess what? This person was just sick. From sickness, someone just died. It's it's crazy, you know. So I just want to urge you guys, regardless of what happens, please take out time to rest. It cannot be overemphasized. I don't even know what kind of sickness. Maybe something this person was struggling with over time that we didn't know about, or, there's just so many. And I remember hearing the news and just freezing. I was in front of the vending machine and a friend of mine just told me, and I just stood there because I saw him freezing. He froze. And I'm like, why? What's wrong with you? Are you okay? And I approached him and he's like, he just heard a very sad news. He's about to write an exam and he does not even know how to think. And I was like, okay, what happened? He told me that this person died. And I froze too, almost at the brink of tears, because I'm like, I know I don't know much about this person, but he just died and he was just at work last week, Friday. How? How do people just die? God, I don't know how to express this side of myself. I don't even know where to even start with expressing how I feel about it. But I am just sad. I don't know what other word to use, but I'm just really sad about that. And I can't help but still say that life is still going on, regardless of all the stress we put ourselves through. The worker we are working our asses off for is still there cashing out, and you're stressing yourself out here at work. Probably you're still sick and you're still trying to rough it one way or the other. It's like dog eat dog. We are just in this loop of continuous slavery, if that makes sense. And I don't even know. I'm not even trying to badmouth any business, really. I'm not even trying to say that, okay, these workers are not trying to do their best part, creating a work-life balance. I'm just saying that, guys, it's a lot, man. And I can't help but think of many ways to get myself off this eternal loop or brainwash of having to work every morning and night 247 just so you can make ends meet. It is scary having to depend on somebody for your livelihood. Okay, please don't get me wrong. I mean, there are a lot of people who are working for amazing bosses, but there's also some people who are. But that is not the bone of contention. I just want to connect this with not giving up. Why giving up is not an option. My story is one story that I really hate to start from the beginning, because those parts of me shaped me to the person that I am. I didn't have any figure in my life that I could look up to. I just had, this mental figure of people I watched on TV. Oh my God, I want to be like Oprah. Oh my God, I want to be like this. I think I've been wanting to be like a lot of people. There are a lot of people that I've seen that I really want to be like. But older I got, I started to filter. But undoubtedly, there are people who stood, the likes of Nelson Mandela, the likes of Oprah, the likes of a lot of people. And I can't think of all those names right now because, like I said, 17 tabs are open. And I can't pick one right now to think of. The only thing that I can pick out to think of right now is not giving up and this podcast and delivering. But basically though, giving up is not an option at all. I know how scary it is. I know how much we're in our heads, but it's not an option. That dream, that business, that life you want to live is not an option. Like giving up on it is not an option. I am someone who has given up a lot. Coming from someone who has given up a lot, don't give up. Don't even try it. I remember when I started living in Lagos in 2018. I remember telling my parents, oh my God, I want to be a broadcaster. I think my parents have even put up with it. And coming from the firstborn child, I feel like there are a lot of expectations and they're like, oh my, you need to have figured out your life by now. But that life figuring out, no be one time thing, guy. It's a continuous process, especially when you were under the umbrella of somebody or you're under the guise of somebody for such a long time that you now realize that, okay, I now want to be my own person before I die old and grey and I'm not able to do all of the things I've always wanted to do. It's time for me to come out of my shell. And that was me just being ballsy. I told my parents, you know what? I'm done with school. I've served. I'm trying to, I literally tried everything. A lot of people took a chance on me because they saw potential. A young girl who had the drive to do anything and everything. I mean, not everything though. But I wanted more for myself. I had a mental image of who I wanted to become, but I didn't know how to go about it. So I tried makeup artists and tried a lot of things. I don't want to start listing them. I think I've given that story before. I'm not going to try to bore you guys with all that nitty-gritty details. I now had to tell myself that I would move to Lagos and pursue my career as a broadcaster, which is an on-air personality or a TV presenter. Then I started going for it. I used to practice at home. I couldn't just wait to be in the big picture. I'm talking about being this person that I am now. Before I even knew what podcast was. I just told my parents this is what I wanted to do and I wanted to go to my broadcasting school. That is MBA, and I finally left. And the good thing that even gave me the ginger to even go was because my parents were in support of it. They were like, you know what? I know this is what you want to do. And even though we want you to stay in Port Harcourt and work for one government house like that, we want you to be the best version of yourself. And I used to think my parents were rigid when I was younger, but I believe that it took a lot of convincing though, but I felt like they believed in me to an extent to say, okay, Oma, go into the world, go ye and be you. And I appreciated that a lot. And my dad had to show his own support by, boxing me up with money and of course buying me one of the boxes that I refused to let go. So it kind of reminds me that my dad, was in support of it because he had to do a lot of convincing. In October, I left with my friend. The experience was amazing. And, we got to Lagos. I was like, okay, this is Lagos. Echo. Wow. I've dreamt of coming here. I've watched you on TV. I couldn't wait to explore Lagos. And we started roughing it. We started from jumping the bus. But coming to Lagos, no family. I did have family, but not in close proximity to the school I was going to. So it was crazy. So I said, okay, wait, it's enjoyable. Lagos is not bad, but this traffic, I can't stand it though. What kind of traffic am I staying here for 4 hours now? I closed from work and then I couldn't wrap my head around it. I used to hear about it, but I was like, I'll rough it. It's not just traffic. And I thought it was just one traffic somewhere like we experienced in Port Harcourt. Only for me to realize that the traffic is raining blood and brimstone. The kind that you will sit in your car and you will cry, you will weep. You'll be like, what is this? And I was experiencing that. I couldn't understand it. Thankfully, we used to follow a man back home at the time from work. So it made things easier. But going to work was crazy too. So we had to find a way to follow that same person to work. Technically, yeah, I got scared of Lagos to an extent. I loved that I was seeing a lot of people in the radio station, having to talk to a lot of people. Just coming in contact with all these people made me feel like, okay, there is something here and there's something. I was just enjoying the feel of everything. I just wanted to be better at my craft. So things got tougher when accommodation issues hopped in like a frog and I had to leave Lagos. And this is me leaving Lagos out of my own free will because I didn't have a place to stay per se. Where I was staying before got a bit messy where we were staying before, and then it was just time for me to. And then I just found myself in the bus back to Port Harcourt and I was crying. I was sad because I felt like I had not done what I was here to do. But basically, yeah, I got to Port Harcourt and I was sad for a long time. My mom could tell that I was sad because they were like, come back home. A lot of things are going on down there. You cry a lot. You call us and you cry. I think that was my number one mistake. Calling them at every little inconvenience. No parent wants to hear their child crying, especially when they can't see you. They don't even know how you're fending, how you're eating. If you're spending all your money on transportation, because they know how it is. And then my mom was really worried, and my dad was like, with his stern voice, Oma, it be like you go come back house. It's like you're going to have to come back home, my dear. And I was like, you're right, because there is nowhere to go at this moment, so I might as well have to come back home. And I went back home, and I was sad. I was a little bit depressed. My mom would say, I know when you're sad, Oma. And I'm like, how do you even know? You don't know anything. She said, shut up, I know. You sleep a lot. You just sleep away your pain. Like, I remember her telling me that, and I cried. She's like, Oma, I know you're my child, you're my daughter, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, you gave birth to me. You indeed know your child. Or is it not just you being observant? But basically, I was sad. But then I picked myself up again and I said, you know what? I'm going to try and get a job here. Try to hone my skills as a broadcaster and work hard. Save up money and go back to Lagos. This time, I'll not be a whiny little baby to my parents. I would suck it up and make it work. Eventually, 2020 got here, and then there was COVID. This is me already saving up money, stashing money somewhere, telling myself, can't wait to go. And then COVID happened. How? This thing was supposed to spoil my parole. Wait till be this. And then finally, I don't even know how I managed to convince my dad that I got a job in Lagos. And I moved. I got a job as a PA. It didn't last for long. I got a job here and there. I haven't worked. I've worked in a company, but I haven't, worked in a structured company. So having to work in a structured company at that time was hard. So I don't even know how I managed to do it. And I got a virtual assistant job, which kept me up going. And then finally, the story just continues. It was crazy. And so looking back at that time, this is 2023. I haven't gone back since then. I mean, I go back to see my parents, but I'm happy that I didn't give up. It's not the best right now. Everything is not as rosy, but I'm not where I was before. I was staying with my uncle at the time, roughing it one way or the other, staying in that house alone, all of those things. Just trying to navigate life. Then trying to get a job, trying to be on my own, trying to understand myself better, trying to know who Oma is outside of the wings of our parents, who Oma is outside the wings of her uncles and her aunties, who Oma is outside the wings of her friends. I just wanted to know who Oma Sivichi, Ellen, and Damati is. I just wanted to know me. And I didn't give up. I'm still not going to give up. I'm trying to do a lot of things at the same time. And then sometimes I'm like, God, why do you put all these things in my head? Because I can't think of all of these things on my own. I don't just stay and think of all of these things on my own. Just thinking of how I want to build an application, how I want to go into the movie industry, how I want to start my podcast, and how I want to have a TV show, a podcast that transcends into a TV show. How I want to be this, how I want to be a poet, how I want to be, oh my God, how I want to be all of these things. And something in my head just tells me, take it easy, Mama, one step at a time. You're going to do all of these things. Just take it one step at a time. And sometimes I even doubt myself that, can I even do these things? But then again, I already have built up the tenacity, the resilience in the past to not even think about giving up. I will think about it, no doubt, but I won't give up. Just feel like the moment you're alive, there is hope. You're healthy, I'm strong. I have family, I have people who love me. And those things are even the things that even give me the momentum, the balls to chase such wild dreams. And sometimes I even tell myself that people are already doing these things. Why can't I do it too? Doubted myself for so long, but I'm not going to give up on trying to know myself. I'm not going to give up on trying to change old habits, old bad habits. I'm not going to give up on myself, give up on my personality, my uniqueness, the thing that makes me me. I'm not going to give up on that. Suicidal thoughts, suicide, all of those things, people who commit them, to people who have already committed these things or who are thinking of it. I know it's not easy. It gets tougher being a person in this world, being a woman, being a man. It's tough being alive. It is tough being human. It is tough being the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th child. It is tough being a mom. It's tough being a dad. It is tough paying for rent. It is tough living in a place that is far from work. It is tough. It is tough having to keep up with your bills. It is tough, guys. It is tough. Everything is hard, but is giving up an option? No. And that is why I use Lagos as an example. A lot of people who live here, experiencing Lagos, as tough as it is, do they give up? Lagosians don't give up. We just have people who make things easy for us and at the same time hard for us. We have that boss that pisses us off. We have that manager. We have that person in our team that just tries to frustrate everybody's effort. We have that one person. We have several chunk of people who are the bad guys, and we still have those people who are the good guys. And it is easy for you to focus on the bad things, but my darling, the good is lurking around. As a matter of fact, the good is around us. We have to immerse in that goodness. Those are good friends, good love, good people around us. So we just have to keep going on. And this is me even telling myself, because I was thinking the other day, can I keep up with this podcast? Can I? Because editing and everything is just a lot. And then I'm like, I think I have to give up on this thing. I'm like, nope. Hey, nope. If there is anything that I've told myself is to be consistent, and I haven't been consistent with a lot of things, so I'm going to be consistent with this one. And thankfully, I've been consistent with other things as well, but a few, because I had to start learning to not give up on those things. Oh my God, it got hard. Okay, I'm out. Oh my God, this person spoke to me in a certain way. Okay, I'm out. Someone say, oh, this is probably not for you. Okay, I'm out. But you have the interest. You want to do this thing. Why are the words of other people making you feel like you can't do it? Why is your mind so much against you, or limiting you so much that you think that you can't do it? You can do it, baby girl, baby boy, man, woman. You can do it. So giving up is not an option. So this is my love letter to you. Of course, there are going to be much more love letters after this. And even when I tried to record my previous podcast to upload this Saturday, it just didn't go as planned. It just didn't go as planned. It was something I was supposed to release on Saturday. Before I knew it, I fell sick on Thursday. I couldn't even edit the podcast. The podcast was cut in half and everything just went south. And that's when I just felt like I wanted to give up. And I said, no, I'm going to record my podcast. I was just laying on my bed about to get ready to sleep and get ready for work tomorrow. I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to record this podcast. I'm going to express myself on this topic. I'm glad I did, because I really do hope that it impacts you one way or the other. I really do hope that it stands out. I hope that these words I say ring in your head for a while until you tell yourself that you won't give up. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Please do share, subscribe. Most importantly, share. You never really know who needs to hear this. Thank you so much for lending me your beautiful hearts and ears. I really do appreciate it. I'll be looking forward to chatting with you once again next Saturday. Bye. Mwah.